Hey guys, Ernie here and welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Sometimes you buy a product convinced you're gonna love it and it is a complete disappointment. Well, that happened to me many years ago when I bought the original Pathfinder School or Self-Reliance Outfitters alcohol stove. It was a very high volume alcohol stove. I did everything they said. I primed it the way I was supposed to prime it and it just never worked. Like I could not get it to create a flame that was any good. In fact, I never even made a video about it. I should have, but that was so far back in my YouTube career. I didn't know if I was doing something wrong and maybe it was my fault. Anyway, it was a dud. Now they recently redesigned it. They re-released it. It's a smaller version and I'm really hopeful that it's something positive this time. So let's take a look at the newly redesigned Pathfinder alcohol stove. Thanks for watching, guys. So like I said, I bought the original stove years ago. I mean, probably 6, 7 years ago, and I probably should have made a video about it. I didn't. I didn't know if it was a user error. I didn't know if it was just a dud. I didn't know, and I wasn't, these days I would have made a video for sure. I don't even think I still have it, or I would make a video about it to show you guys just how bad it was. Eventually I kind of forgot about it until I saw this newly redesigned version. I'm wondering if maybe the redesign was because the first one wasn't any good. I'd made kind of comments about it in the past that it wasn't very good, and some people said they loved theirs, so maybe mine was just bad. The original stove was very high volume. That was kind of its selling point. The new one is less volume, still decent volume, but less volume. Maybe that was its downfall. Let me show you guys the newly redesigned stove. This is the Pathfinder Alcohol Stove version 2. The first one was much taller. The dimensions on this one are 1.75 by 3.35. The weight is 5 ounces. Fuel capacity is a pretty impressive 4.5 ounces. It is made out of stainless steel. Cost is $24.99. Some of the features, it does have a concave bottom that adds stability. Okay, so basically it's not gonna kind of be tippy on it. It's got a hollowed out area, which is always going to cause it to be a lot more stable. It has a screw-on lid. This pops off, and sometimes when this gets popped on there, guys, this simmer ring, it can be hard to get off when it's popped on there, but it gets looser over time. So it has the screw on top, and it has an O-ring on the inside, as you can see, just like a Trangia. So it allows you to store fuel inside of it and it won't leak out, which is very, very nice. It has the flame regulator, which is similar in design to a lot of these stoves. Just pops open and closed just like that. It is nice that it has this little handle, which makes things pretty simple. One of the things I do like is this rim, this kind of rim around the outside. Sometimes when you're putting fuel in these things, they can easily kind of just spill over, and this gives it an area to not only allow for preheat, so you can put some fuel on the inside here and it'll preheat the stove faster, but it also, if you happen to be a little clumsy and spill some out, it kind of goes out into this little tray. And it's also made out of stainless steel, which is really nice because stainless steel is pretty darn bomb-proof. I'm going to show you guys the flame pattern real quick, and then we're going to do a 2-cup bowl test and see how this bad boy performs. I don't know, this is surprisingly slow. It was like 130 degrees like 4 minutes ago, and it's not even up to 150. I don't think it's gonna get to boiling. I usually use my 800 milliliter mug pot from Evernew, so maybe I'll do that. I don't see any reason why this pot stand setup would be an issue. I mean, it's about 1 inch to 1.25 inches above the flame, which is good. It's got plenty of ventilation. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to use this setup, so I'm not sure. We're definitely going to do another bowl test with my mug pot, and I'm going to search around and see if I can find a different pot stand, but other than that, I don't really know what else we could do different. I think that the stove is just not performing super well. You know, guys, I just don't know. It's just so odd. It's dying. I mean, it burns for a long time. Obviously for 15 minutes it's burning, but it is, I mean, it's not going to get this water to a boil anywhere near. So we're going to try again with the mud pot and see if that makes any difference. This was a full ounce. It's basically burning now just in the middle. So we're going to call it, let's say 15 minutes. It got it up to 175, 176 degrees. Let me recycle everything. We're going to try a different pot and see if it performs any better with a different pot that's made out of titanium versus the stainless steel. I'm working with what I got here at the house. I'm pretty sure we starved this stove for oxygen. So we're going to put it inside of this. There we go. It's still hot, as you can hear. We're going to put it inside of this Bush Buddy Mini, and it should work well. It's a little farther away from the flame than I would like it. In fact, let's see something here. Hold on one second, guys. Let's do something. Hold on. We're going to raise this up just a little bit. We're going to pull this out, and I'm just going to put this, which is the top to the Pathfinder stove, put it right there. That should lift it up. There we go. That's pretty good. Now that's good. I like that. That's a reasonable height. And what we're going to see here, and I guess I just didn't think about it, starving it for oxygen that bad, because it does have circulation. But I think because we had it, well, anyway, we're going to find out. We got an ounce again. Got it going. Let's put it on here. We'll start it up. I can't imagine it being as slow, but we're going to find out. If it is, then I think we've eliminated the possibility of starving it for oxygen. We're going to find out. Let's see. Yeah, this is already much better. I think that, I mean, I don't know, but I believe it's gonna function much better. So pretty interesting. I didn't think it would starve it that bad, but that just show you. Anyway, we haven't boiled anything yet. I'll be back. Yeah, I'll officially say this is definitely already going a lot better. So pretty amazing how that setup really killed this stove. Again, we're not boiling yet, but I think we're definitely going to get this to a boil. There's no question that it'll burn probably for at least 10 or 12 minutes. And I think that if we're at 111 degrees already at 3 minutes, 10 seconds, I think we're definitely going to boil. So pretty cool. All right, so 6 minutes we're to the temperature we got to before. So obviously we're going a lot better here. We'll talk more about this. I hope that 1 ounce of fuel gets this to a boil. I think it will. You can hear it starting to do its thing, the titanium do its thing. So it's burning pretty strong. Much happier. Glad we did a second test. Even with all the stove testing I do, I'm a little surprised at how much that negatively affected this stove. But anyway, we're getting there. All right, that's very encouraging. Basically boiling now at 8 minutes 15 seconds. We'll call it 8 minutes 15 seconds. And we're going to let it keep going and see how long it takes to it'll actually burn for. So 8 minutes 15 seconds, and it's still going pretty strong. Okay, we're starting to calm down here. So it burned for 15 minutes when I completely deprived it of oxygen. Never really got going very well. Looks like we're probably going to be at about 10 minutes here, maybe a little longer. It's still going decent. We're going to continue to call that burning for now. All right, we're gonna basically say right at 10 minutes, say 10 minutes 15 seconds, just to be nice. So pretty good. 10 minutes 15 seconds of burn time for the Pathfinder stove. So the reviews for this stove are excellent, and that's why I kind of thought, man, something's not right. It's interesting, after all the stove testing I've done, that I was able to create a scenario where I really snuffed this thing out. I mean, it really suffered, and I'm glad I thought about it, because this is why we do testing. Theoretically, what I was using was part of the Evernew DX stand, and I can't imagine why it starved it of oxygen so much. I think it was more the way that the pot sat on top of it. It didn't create any elevation off of the top of the stand, and that's probably what did it. It was pretty amazing, the difference, though. Once we put it in the position to actually work right and give it plenty of oxygen, it did pretty darn well. Looking back at the numbers here, it says 8 minutes, 15 seconds for a boil and 10 minutes, 15 seconds for a burn time. Pretty reasonable. Probably similar boil time to a Trangia and doesn't burn quite as long as a Trangia. To me, it's pretty obvious they redesigned the original stove because it didn't work very well, and that's why they have a new one. So let's talk pros and cons of this new version. Standpoint of pros, it is very sturdy construction, made out of stainless steel. It has that lip around it, like I said, that you can use both for preheating and also to catch any stray alcohol that may spill. You can store fuel inside of it. You can adjust the flame with the flame adjuster, and it's also pretty low profile, so it's kind of nice that it's nice and low, and it should work with most Trangia type stands. Not the ones where it's going to fit right in there, obviously, but anything that kind of just sits. I'm thinking like one of those triangular stands. It should work really well with one of those because it's wider footprint, but it's not any taller than the Trangia. As far as cons go, the cost is fairly high, and the weight is obviously higher being stainless steel. Last, also an attribute of stainless steel, it stays hot for a long time, and it gets very hot. Like, you really need to let this thing cool down before you grab it. It will stay hot for 5 to 8 minutes after it goes out. Now, we all know I love stoves, so I'm glad to add this to my collection. I think it's a very viable stove. I think it's pretty cool that it's stainless steel. Kind of gives a stronger version of a lot of these stoves, and I think it's pretty nice. I like supporting Pathfinder School. They make good products. I was very surprised with the first stove because it's the first product from that website that I've ever gotten that just didn't meet up to snuff. This didn't meet my expectations. It's fairly high volume, which is nice at 4.5 ounces. I did another boil test off camera with a different stand that I had that also gave it a lot of air and a lot of oxygen, and it worked really, really well. So far, as long as I don't create problems with it, it is working perfectly. It's nice to me to see Pathfinder take a flawed design, say, all right, well, maybe it doesn't work for everybody. We're gonna fix it. This one works much better for me. Do you guys have any experience with the stove? Have you used it? Do you think it's better? Do you have experience with the old stove and it worked fine for you and mine was just a problem? Let me know down below in the comments. I would love to hear those comments. Do me a favor, guys. Subscribing to the channel is the best thing you can do for me. It really helps things grow. If you're not subscribed, and I know a lot of you who watch these videos are not subscribed, hit that subscription button. That's all I ask. I don't have Patreon. I don't ask for support in any other way. Just hit that subscription button if you want to see more awesome stove videos. If you're not aware, I have a full playlist on stoves, 150, 160 different videos on different types of stoves, solid fuel stoves, alcohol stoves, propane stoves, all kinds of stoves. So check that down below, and I'll leave it up here in the cards somewhere. If you do like the video and you want to hit that thumbs up, do that. If you want to make sure you don't miss any videos, make sure you do that. As always, guys, I appreciate you checking out the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Stay tuned for more videos soon.